Hey Dragonlings, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Skye. I'm a fantasy author who typically writes paranormal romance under the name of Hegyes. And today is day 3 of the 7-day book challenge, where we try to write a project from start to finish in 7 days. If you want more information about that, I do have a link in the description. Pardon any shakiness of the camera. I have a guest with me, which is unusual because I am most definitely a dog person over a cat person. And um, this one has decided to be a bother today. And by that, I mean she jumped up on the back of my chair, crawled over my shoulder, and then plopped down where she currently is on my desk. Hold on, let me show you what I'm doing. Okay, okay. This. This is what I'm dealing with. And she's like, yes, so. So yeah, if my desk shakes a lot, that is because of her. Like, I'm using a poker table as this desktop, so it shakes a lot anyways when I'm doing stuff. So yeah, that is my life currently. I was going to work on writing, but my writing is on my laptop, which means I need to put my laptop where she's currently laying. And the reason this is weird is because, like, I'm the last human on the list she really wants to interact with. Like, there's 4 people in my house. This is my daughter's cat. The order of humans that she goes to, as far as like when she wants attention, is my daughter, my husband, my other daughter, me. And I almost never get attention. I'm a little disturbed. In fact, actually, I sent a text message to the family group chat being like, is she sick? Am I sick? What's going on? What's happening? It's because the rapture was yesterday, wasn't it? Yeah, that's why. Anyways, so that's what we're dealing with. I'm supposed to be working on a project. I did start writing on it yesterday, finally. Finally. I've done a little bit of work on it today already, but she's going to make things extremely difficult for me. Anyways, let's get um, chat and see who has joined us. And Cat Paws here. Hello. Perfect timing. Cats will cat. Yes, she is definitely catting right now. She's going to make it extremely difficult to work on anything. I have to go grab my laptop and my mouse and stuff so that I can get some work done. On Monday, when we did this first sprint for the 7-day book challenge, because I am streaming daily for this challenge, when we did the stream, then I actually spun a wheel to decide what project I'm working on, and I am currently working on a paranormal romance called Howling Good Time, about a woman who took place in a fun run. And during that fun run, it's during Halloween, so everyone's dressed up in costumes and stuff. And she tells the werewolf that he is a good boy. And the man dressed up as a werewolf is actually a werewolf. So shenanigans ensue. I am right now currently just like brain dumping and plotting it. I'm thinking it's going to be like a short story novella, like a longer short story novella type story. I have written stuff on it in the past, but I was reading back through it yesterday, and I am not 100% happy with where the story was going, so we will see how much rewriting I have to do. And yeah, the way it's going to work today is we're going to do 4 25-minute sprints. I don't have any obligations today other than leaving as soon as my husband comes home from work with the oldest from school so that he can drop me off at work myself. This week is weird because of the fact that I am training someone to take my place when I'm on vacation. And otherwise, yeah, it's just been a weird week so far, and I have been doing pop-up streams because of it. I think for the rest of this week, today, Thursday, Friday, I will try to stream at this time daily because we can work it out so that I can ride with my husband after he gets off work and drops off the oldest before he has to go pick up the youngest from practice and stuff. So I think that's how we're going to work today and tomorrow and Friday, but we'll see. I'm just taking it day by day, and I'm streaming when I can stream. And then on Saturday, we're doing a 12-hour marathon where we're going to start on Stephanie's channel at 6 p.m. And we're going to stream for 6 hours on her channel before we take an hour-long break and come back to my channel to stream for another 6 hours. So it will end at like 7 a.m. on my channel, I believe. This is all Central Time. I could be wrong about that. My math is not mathing somewhere, and I'm not going to fix it. But yeah, so we're going to do 25-minute sprints. And if you are new to my channel, the way it works is I like to put writing prompts on the screen while we sprint. I almost said stream. You do not have to write the prompts if you do not want to. They're just there for those who want to write but don't know what they want to write about. Maybe it'll be some inspiration for you. And Kappa says it's a good time for me while brain is still braining. I'm not going to lie, honestly. If I could get away with streaming at 10 a.m. like every day, like that is the perfect time for me. The problem is, since I work nights, I am usually asleep by now. But because what I'm trying to do is because my schedule this week has shifted 4 hours. I'm coming in 4 hours earlier than I usually do, and it sucks so much. I hate it so much. I am missing all of the things with the kids as far as like anything after school stuff. So, but because I have a 4-hour shift in work schedule, I have a 4-hour shift in sleep schedule as well. So my sleep schedule has basically shifted so that I'm sleeping as soon as I get home for 4 hours, if that. Today was not that much. And then after the stream, I'll take like a 2-hour nap. Can you decide what you're going to do, Katzen? Please. Anyways, Renee has joined us. Hello, hello. Catpot is saying hi. Pixel cannot decide what she wants. She's kind of half laying down, half not. You know when cats like lay down their front half, but their back half stays standing? That's exactly what she's doing right now. So maybe I'll be able to convince her to move so I can actually get some work done. If she doesn't quit hitting me with her tail, I'm going to bite your ears when I do. Stop rolling all over my stuff. Like I said, weird behavior from her. So I am not her human by any stretch of the imagination. What are you doing? I'm telling you, I'm going to bite your tail. Anyways, let's go ahead and do a spread. Let's see. Can you just settle? Settle. Capel says, yes, I know. I'm a night rider forced to write early because TFS and social circumstances. Park your butt, cat. Yes. Can you, like, chill? Anyways, let's do a sprint. 25 minutes. Nixie here is going to keep our time for us. You're going to get cat hair in my drink. I don't appreciate that. You're shedding like a mofo. Here's our first prompt for anyone who wants to write but doesn't know what they want to write about. You do not have to use it. And it says, what did you just say? I don't need another book. I think you should leave. I don't need that kind of negativity in my life. So that is our first writing prompt for whoever wants to use it. You do not have to. I'm going to go grab my laptop so I can try to get some work done. I'll figure out how we're going to do that. Renee says, in the summer, I'm a night writer, but when kids are in school, I try to write after I've done the house chores in the morning and lunch, so I can try to write 1 to 3:30 p.m. on weekdays. Fair enough. During the summer, it's actually a lot easier to get writing done almost any time. And then during the school year, during sporting events when they're doing practice, and then during my lunch break at work, no matter what time of the year it is. Those are the times I get the most writing done. And since I work nights, that means most of my writing's done at night. Anyways, we're going to do 25 minutes, and then we'll be back to chit-chat some more. And let's do this. Starting. Can you stop pressing buttons? Starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. All right, that is time, everyone. Let me know what you did, how you did in the comments. I have to do math. The one thing that I don't like about Scrivener, and it's not even Scrivener's fault because I could use a different portion of Scrivener for this. But like Scrivener, when you're working with the document, is separated to different sections. There is the draft, the research, and trash. And when I'm brainstorming, I have a file I keep in the research section. But Scrivener allows you to see word counts, but only in the draft portion. So I have to do math every time to see how many words I've written. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I was confused there. I was like, that doesn't look right, but it is. So I wrote 311 words for that sprint. It was the 24th, yes. Okay, that was what confused me, is I was on the wrong date. Alrighty, let's see how y'all did. No one has mentioned any comments yet. Okay, that's fine. I finally convinced the cat to leave. It took me getting up to go get my laptop for her to get up from the table and leave me alone. So, and I also got me a snack, and I was continuing a video that I'm watching in pieces because it's like a research video, and I have to be in like a specific mood for research videos, and today is just not one of those days. I'm just like, I don't feel like it. Kind of earlier today I was watching some bullet journal video setups because I like watching those. I am not very artistic, but I love watching a good bullet journal setup. Oops, sorry, that was me. But cat hair. But I enjoy watching those. I was watching a couple of those before we went live. But this research one is a little different. It's something that I'm like, I want to put forth in the future, but not anytime soon. So I'm probably going to watch it again in the future. When, I don't know. Not right now. Let's see. Cat Paw made coffee, iced tea, and checked in on the other kitty cat and got started on edits. Nice. What are you editing? What are you working on editing-wise? Out of curiosity. I am working on Howling Good Time. I've got 4 chapters outlined. Maybe? Hold on. Oh, I should have this numbered instead of. This should be. Nope, that didn't work. There we go. Aha, that changed that. Okay, cool. I am working on getting ready to start chapter 6. And all I'm doing basically is doing a paragraph brain dump for each chapter. Sorry, I feel like I'm going to cough every second. I'm trying not to, because it's starting to get to the point where it hurts. But each of the chapters I'm like brainstorming. I'm just basically doing a paragraph brainstorm of the overall chapter. So, and I am currently getting ready to start on chapter 6 because I just finished chapter 5. Is it aligning with the brainstorming I've done where I was basically just pantsing the entire thing? Yeah, for the most part, yeah. But it's a little different. Like the actual draft itself, when I was just pantsing the entire story idea, I got a little over 15,000 words. And working on this brainstorm of the different chapters and actually kind of putting all my thoughts together and fixing plot holes and stuff, I have got just over 900 words so far. So I'll flesh it out a little bit more as I'm working on it, but I wanted to get like the main ideas of the story plotted out, and that takes a little longer. Time shift, spec fix. Wow. Spec fic. Getting it ready for betas. Nice. That is awesome. Excuse me. I am tired and I shouldn't be. I will have to take a nap after we're done sprinting. And we're going to start the second sprint soon because Nixie is ready for us to do sprints. Um, okay, sorry, my phone had notifications. Let's go ahead and get set up for another sprint. This is going to be sprint number 2. We're going to do 25 minutes. Here is our prompt for anyone who wants to use it. Again, you do not have to. And it says, I would have been on time, but then I realized that I just didn't want to be here. So that is our prompt for anyone who wants to use it. You do not have to. And we're going to go ahead and start in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. All right, that is time, everyone. Let me know what you did, how you did in the comments. I didn't get a lot of writing done, but I did think and plan some stuff. I got too much on my head, basically. As far as like what I've got on my mind. Let's see. I did not finish this sentence. Oh, yes, I did. I just didn't put a period. Okay. I got 18 words, a whopping 18 words, because I am awesome that way. But you know what? I'll take it. I will take it. Okay, so what did y'all do? My brain is jumping all over the place because of various videos I'm watching and like trying to figure out publishing schedules for the next couple years, honestly. And I'm kind of hit a wall with this story. So, like, I don't know how I want it to end, kind of thing. Usually, when I jump into a story, I know two things about the stories usually when I jump into them. I know, like, the inciting incident. I call it the beginning. But let's be real. What I usually know is not the beginning itself, but the inciting incident. And I usually know the inciting incident and the end, like the climax. Those are the two things I usually know going into a story. In this case, I don't know the end. I know the inciting incident because that's when she's doing this fun run, and she accidentally calls this guy dressed up as a werewolf a good boy, and it turns out he's actually a werewolf. This is a hidden society kind of thing, so no one knows that werewolves are real. But I've added in this kind of murder mystery. Like, he's new to town because he's visiting to investigate something. I don't know what he's investigating. It's something dealing with werewolves. I haven't figured out. Like, I've got a bunch of what if questions of like what he could be investigating, but I haven't actually picked anything. So he's in town to investigate, and like I have no idea how this story ends. I probably won't know the ending until I figure out what exactly he's investigating. Obviously, it's paranormal romance. The couple's going to get together. You now know as much as I do about the story, which is the whole point of the brainstorming process. But at the same time, I'm struggling with this story because that, like, I think that's why I stopped writing it in the first place, is because the fact that I got to that 15,000 word mark and I pretty much hit there already with what I am like brainstorming. And I hit a wall because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. That's what it feels like, at least. So, no idea where the story is going. And because of that, my brain is latching on to everything and anything else, such as watching YouTube videos and plotting out various things that I want to do, like writing down to-do lists. Ever-growing to-do lists. Yes. So that is what I spent the sprint doing, basically. Is basically a little bit of everything but what I should actually be working on. I'll eventually get some work in. But I think I need to sit and figure out what exactly he's investigating to kind of figure out where to take this story. As far as like developing their relationship, I've got that hammered out. It's figuring out the secondary plot. First plot? The other plot that has got me stumped. Oh, my scrap notebook that I just write anything and everything in has stuff in the front and the back. Okay, cool. It's almost time for a new scrap notebook. This one's almost full. I've only got like 20 pages left in it, basically. I know, random, sorry. But yeah, that's where I sit. Anyways, our timer's going to be going off soon, so I'm going to go ahead and get us set for our next sprint. For those who want to write our prompt, the next prompt is, promise me when the time comes, and it will come, don't deny it, promise me one thing. You'll try to find me again. Make me remember what we once were to each other. So that's our prompt for anyone who wants to use it. You do not have to if you do not want to. And we're going to go ahead and start writing in three, two, one. Let's go. All right, that is time. Let me know what you did, how you did in the comments. I am still just jotting down a brainstorm of thoughts, basically. I'm just everything and anything I can think of, whether it's to-do lists, things I would like to, like quotes that I've been listening to, all of that is just going down in this brain dump that I will sort through later when my brain is less overcrowded with thoughts. Oh, goodness. Am I getting work done? Debatable. I mean, I am getting stuff done. It's just not anything I thought I would be doing. What I really want to do at this moment is I want to go get my planner and just start working my planner and like figuring out that stuff. I'm avoiding that. A, because that means getting up and going to another room to get it, and B, because like I am supposed to be technically writing. I am stuck with where I need to go with this story. I am thinking about what I need to do with the story, and because I'm doing all of that, I am procrastinating. I'm very much aware of what I'm doing. I am procrastinating. In the meantime, I'm making a list of everything I need to do, unrelated to story writing. But one of the things I would like to do is like actually start getting some story writing done so that I can get some stories done so I can, start publishing. Like I have a bunch of projects I would like to publish next year, and it's kind of hard to do that when you're not getting writing done. So yeah, that's a thing. Mm. But it's just a matter of figuring out priorities and stuff like that. And at the moment, I am just brain dumping everything I need to do, everything that's on my mind, whether it's something like a mentality thing I need to do, or like videos I need to watch, notes I need to take, courses I need to finish, like everything and anything as it jumps out of my brain, I am putting it on paper to sort later. Is that what I'm supposed to be doing right now? No, absolutely not. But it is what I'm working on at the moment. Hi, JC. Welcome, welcome. We've got at least one sprint left. I am avoiding writing, and if I feel like it, I've got writing prompts left for like 2 extra sprints. So we might do some extra sprints today. We'll see. Um, I was talking about the fact that in the storyline I'm working on right now, I am kind of stuck. So I am procrastinating by basically brain dumping everything else that is on my mind. This list that I am working on in my notebook of random things is all over the place. From tasks that I need to complete before we go to North Carolina to tasks that I need to complete before we move to just like chores that need to be randomly done to thoughts that are on my brain and stuff like that. So like, yay. Um, mm, yeah, my brain is not working out too well. It's okay. It happens. Things happen. I'm just working through things as I think of them, basically. What are you working on today? Let me know. I am curious. I'm curious. Got a little bit more than a minute left before we start our sprint, so I'm going to go ahead and possibly start getting set up for us soon. Yeah. Oh boy. Nay is asking the hard questions, and I have both a short answer and a long answer. I am going to go ahead and wait until the next chat break to answer that question, though, because it's going to take longer than 40 seconds. I'm not ignoring it. I will come back to it, but it's just going to take longer to answer because it's for me personally, it's a convoluted answer. I have it's something I'm working into my 2026 stuff actually, or will be when I actually sit down and do some planning. But the short answer is you don't, or at least I don't. I have no idea. And the long answer we'll talk about when we come back, and I will go over that in more detail. So I'm going to pause the timer real quick and get us set up for the next sprint. Welcome back. I I am so jealous of you right now. There is no Zaxby's anywhere near here. And like my husband and I were talking about the things we would like to do when we get to North Carolina. And one of them is like, one of his was our biggest gripe right now is the lack of restaurant availability on days that we have off. Like there's 4 restaurants in town. I'm trying to be quick about this. There's 4 restaurants in town. One of them is a Subway, one of them is a Pizza Hut. And then there is a new Mexican restaurant that just opened up that's been getting mixed reviews, mostly bad ones. And then there are 3 other restaurants. But 3 of those restaurants, one is a breakfast only, so it closes at like noon. And then the other 2 are not open on weekends when we can usually go out and do stuff. So we never eat there, basically. So all that being said, our restaurant choices are slim pickings, and we were talking about the fact that we really, really want some Zaxby's. So that was what I wanted to get to before we start the last sprint. This is not probably it technically could be the last sprint, but we're probably going to do some extra sprints. But let's do this sprint number 4. And the prompt, if anyone wants to use it, says, "You won't be okay." I can promise you that. And we're going to go ahead and start 25 minutes. Then I'll come back and answer Renee's question in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. All right, this time, let us know what you think, what you did, how you did in the comments. I did more brain dumping, not of story stuff, just random, like, the first original brain dump I was doing was basically anything and everything that popped into mind, just like a bullet journal, a bulleted list. And now I'm actually going through and doing like details into each of those bullet points to like what my brain was actually thinking about during that time and coming up with ideas and stuff. I also had to go get my planner, which I was trying to avoid, to work on that. And I got the notebook in which I have my Patreon related stuff in. So I need to actually have a dedicated notebook to Patreon stuff. So Renee's question, let me go to the comments real quick. Renee asked, how do you know when the right time to start a Patreon and deciding what to offer? My short answer to this is that you just go based on instinct. My long answer is that I have no idea. And I say that because I have an old bullet journal from like 2018 where I first came up with the ideas for what I wanted to offer on Patreon. I started coming up with the idea of doing a Patreon in 2018. It is now 2025, and as you can see, I have no Patreon. It is something I have been going back and forth with over the years. Like, do I actually want to do a Patreon? I have a really hard time with deadlines. Do I want to commit to something like that with knowing that I am the kind of person that will possibly not continue doing what I'm supposed to be doing in order to fulfill? Yes, there's a higher chance of me actually getting things done with a Patreon because I am definitely a more outwardly driven person, meaning that if I have outward deadlines, I am more likely to meet those deadlines than if I set those deadlines up myself. Like, if someone gives me a story to beta read and they tell me they need it back in a week, I'm going to get it done in like 2 days. Whereas, like, I can set myself a deadline of a week and it'll get done maybe by the end of the week and probably not then. I will procrastinate on it and not get it done. Which is why I'm trying to give myself more deadlines, and like I need that external motivation in order to make sure I hit things. So maybe Patreon would be good for me. Maybe I'll actually get some stuff done. But in 2018, I started coming up with a list of what I wanted to offer patrons. And then in 2025, last year, I started going through that a little bit more. Let's see. And I came up with like the tiers that I wanted to offer, like how much they would cost and what I would give to patrons in those different tiers. So like my Patreon, when I do finally do it, when I do finally say yes and I commit to it, I have 4 tiers that I'm going to have. I'll have the $1 tier, $3 tier, $10 tier, and $25 tier. And I think I think you can limit different tiers. So like the $25 tier is going to be limited to 10 people just because I can't handle more than that. And because I'm a fantasy author and I wanted to focus more on that with the Patreon. So like that will be my actual fantasy with the dragons, the portal fantasy, and the different world and stuff like that. So all of my tiers are related to that, as well as like the stuff I offer is going to be related to that, which is part of the reason I have not started yet, because my focus recently in the past few years has been more of the paranormal fantasy with the modern day supernaturals in modern world kind of thing versus the fantasy world kind of fantasy. And definitely with the Patreon, I want to offer more fantasy world fantasy stuff. And because I'm terrible at meeting deadlines, I want to make sure I have some stuff built up to offer patrons before I start it. When I'm going to start it, I have no idea. My plan was originally to start it this year. I set a lot of plans for myself that just haven't come true. They haven't happened for various reasons. Some of them, like, again, I am very bad about meeting deadlines that are internally created. Some of it is the fact that I am just bad at meeting deadlines, period. But the way I have it set up is I have the 4 tiers. The first tier is Egg Keeper, which is $1, and I'll be offering a hearty thank you on Patreon, YouTube, and acknowledgments in like books and stuff. The second one will be news on new releases. Like anytime I have a new release coming out, whether it's fantasy, paranormal, romance, no matter what, it'll be listed on Patreon, like first. And then first look at new and final covers, because like for a while there, I was buying a whole bunch of pre-made covers, and a lot of them I still have all of them. No, not gonna lie there, but like most of them were not finalized. So they have like temporary placement for title and name. And so when I get those finalized, I will post those when stories are ready to be published, or like if I get a new cover, that will be posted there. And then my second tier is Hatchling Wrangler for $3. And it will include all of the prior rewards, the thank you, the news, the first look, as well as the option to name different characters and some behind the scenes look at projects. Then I have Drake Caretaker, which is going to be the $10 tier. And of course, they'll have the prior rewards as well as an ebook copy of all books that get published, and project feedback up to 5,000 words, where they send me a project up to 5,000 words and I give them feedback about what I think about said project. And then my final tier, my fourth category, is Dragon Rider for $25. That's the one I'm limiting to 10 people. And it will include all the prior rewards, obviously, as well as signed copy of a paperback per quarter. So if I have like 5 paperbacks out, they'll get to choose one per quarter that they get a signed copy of. And they will get project feedback up to 10,000 words. That is just what I'm figuring so far. I have no idea if I'm actually going to do those or if I'm going to increase like the rewards and stuff. But that was just what I was planning. I made this list in July. Back when I was thinking I was going to start my Patreon in like August, September, latest November. That is not the plan anymore. I don't have a plan to start my Patreon anytime soon because, again, since I am bad at keeping to deadlines, I want to make sure I have some stuff. Like, I think something that would be really cool, since I am doing fantasy stuff, I think something that would be really cool is the work, like a behind the scenes of map making. I have 2 fantasy series that I want to do. One is like it's a portal fantasy of like a post-apocalyptic Earth, like 500 years in the future after the apocalypse happens kind of thing, with dragons and other fantastical creatures. And then another one is a regular, like it's young adult middle grade fantasy, bordering on middle grade, but it's more young adult, new adult. I don't know yet. I'm still developing that one. And that one, like, both are going to need fantasy maps. And so I think one of the things that would be really cool is like how I design those fantasy maps. I have kind of ideas in my head, and for the one that's like a post-apocalyptic Earth, I'm actually using scientific data of like if the Earth was to end and different natural disasters happen, what would the Earth look like in so many years? So like I've been looking at various different scientific websites for those. Now, I haven't done all this research in years, so I don't even know if those websites are still up and running. I've got all the links saved, whether I actually use them or not. But like that was what I was using to develop that particular world, and I was using those theories, and I was watching all these disaster shows to show what the Earth would look like if humans did not exist, kind of thing, to develop this world. And show like what kind of, especially where like the 7 wonders of the world, I think it is 7, whether or not you would still be able to find those wonders, kind of thing. And whereas the other one, because it's completely fantasy related, I used dice to kind of scatter the world and then kind of develop it from there. And I have like a sketch for it that I would love to send to a map maker and be like, here, fix it. I can't do it. But stuff like that I think would be really cool to put in like a Patreon. And of course, because I haven't worked on that kind of stuff in years, I haven't developed it. I haven't done anything with it. This is all like 10 years prior kind of information. Because, like I said, I was thinking about doing all this in like 2018. So it's been almost 10 years since I've touched any of that stuff. So whether or not what I have like link wise is still available, or if I'll click on the link and it goes to a 404 page, I have no idea. No clue. And then I have a couple of different artists I've been looking at who I would love to work with as far as like making the actual maps when I get to that point, that I will be able to like have a very terrible stick figure sketch and be like, this is what I have, make it pretty kind of thing. And I'll show where it went from my version, which is very ugly and undignified, to their gorgeous version. Like that's the kind of stuff I would love to offer on a Patreon, as well as like behind the scenes excerpts and stuff. Or like even I know there's a couple people who offer patrons, like whenever they work on the stories, you can see them working on the story as they work on the story and give your own input on where the story is going and stuff. And I think something like that would be kind of cool as well. Do something like that. I don't know, because I can be, depending on the story, very picky about where the story is going. Because again, when I usually write a story, I know that inciting incident and I know the climax. I just have to figure out how to get from A to B. But I still think it would be fun. And I love the idea of character art. And especially like it's a fantasy world. We're going to have fantastical creatures. I want to see those fantastical creatures. I want to see the dragons. I want to see the dinosaur-like creatures that they ride on because lizards developed into some giant monstrosity kind of thing. That's all stuff I would love to see posted to like a Patreon. Or I think I would like posted to my own Patreon. So because I don't have any of that and I'm not working on fantasy, I don't know when I'm going to start my Patreon. And so I can't give a detailed example of like when you should do your Patreon as well, because I feel like that is a very personal thing to each individual. I feel like I don't have anything to offer patrons. I've had a couple of people tell me, yes, you do. And I'm like, no, I don't. Just because of the stuff I want to offer, the way I want to do it kind of thing. And the time commitment. The time commitment is the biggest thing, because to me, you've got to be able, if people are paying you money for items, you need to be able to offer them items. And I don't have anything to offer right now. And I want to make sure I do before I start doing a Patreon. But again, personal to everyone else. So like, I can give you an answer of what my plan is, which is I don't have an actual plan, but I can't tell you when you should do it, unfortunately. All right, I got to scroll back through. There was a bunch of comments that came through, and I'm sorry I've missed a few trying to answer that question, but I wanted to get through that before like I got lost down a rabbit hole. Went to Zaxby's, talked about that a little bit. I want to work on it into my 2026. You talking about the Patreon with the 2026 plan? I feel like you are, because that came shortly after your question. So I feel like that's what you were talking about. Had to drive 40 minutes to get some. 40 minutes. Some good chicken. Laura is here. Hello. Going to lock in and get some homework done. You've got this. You've got this. Laura did some beta reading for class. What class are you doing that you're doing beta reading for it? I'm here for this, but I'm just like curious. I knew you were back in school, and I know you've talked about your classes, but I cannot for the life of me remember what your classes are. I'm also terrible with deadlines. I will hyper-focus on one thing, YouTube, and then switch to hyper-focusing on something else, writing, etc. I rotate based on my interests and emotions. Not good for business. Same, Laura. Exactly the same. Hell, I do it within each category, and I do like little subcategories of the thing. Where I hyper-focus on like different niches. Like with YouTube, right now I'm hyper-focusing on all the planning stuff and the motivational stuff. I have no reason to be focusing on that when I've got writing to do. I'm in the middle of a writing challenge right now, and I'm not working on writing-related stuff. Love the feedback reward. Thank you. I've seen a couple other people offer stuff like that, and I was like, let me do that too. I don't know if it's good, but let me do that too. Do you draw your maps or use a program? I have done a little bit of both. Um, I have used there's different tricks out there where they're like just throw a handful of dice and designate different dice to be different things. Like a D4, which looks like a triangle, will be mountains, and one type of dice will be a lake, and one type of dice will be a river, and one type of dice will be a city versus a town. And they're like throw a bunch of dice down if you've got a bunch of dice, so that you can draw out your map that way. Another one was like take a cup of rice and throw it down and use that to do your outline. Another one was like take a picture of a puddle and use the puddle as your outline. So like I've done stuff like that for maps. I've done there's a map, there's 2 map generators I've used, and let's see, as far as like the other thing I like to do, this is not necessarily maps, but it deals with a similar thing. I like to go into Sims and design houses based on different floor plans I find online that I like, that I may or may not modify. I love looking up different floor plans online. I love it when houses that are listed on for sale sites have all of the pictures of the inside of the house plus a floor plan. Those are my favorite things to look at because you can see the floor plan and see how it's supposed to look. And then you see the physical pictures of what it actually looks like. Helps me so much when I'm like trying to describe things because I very much suffer from white room syndrome. And it helps me describe or know what I'm trying to describe is supposed to look like. So I love floor plans. I have found a couple of floor plans recently of different castles, and I'm like, now I know what they're talking about. Because since I am very much a visual person and I struggle with anything that's just description, I need that visual representation of what stuff is supposed to look like. Even if I instantly forget it, that's not the point. JC's like, me. Yes, you do. No, I don't. I do not. Laura is taking intro to creative writing. One student submits a piece up to 10 pages long each week, and we give feedback. My week was last week. I've seen the night rice trick and the painted orange peel trick. Ooh. Okay, I'm going to have to look up the painted orange peel because I don't know that one. I'll have to look up that one. Let's see. What is the map generator I've been using most recently? That is closed. Remove. There we go. I think this is closed too. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I'm trying to see if I have the. I think I have a link. My camera's covering up my page. Is it under images? I have too many links for writing related stuff, and they're all over the place. Okay, that's one of the artists I'm following. There was a map generator I've used recently. Also, if you're doing fantasy, another thing you could possibly do is look up different D&D maps. Not saying that you can use them, but if you look at them, you can use them to help develop your own fantasy stuff. I did not have a link saved to the one map generator I've been using. Conlang. crap. I'm going to have to go back through my history and find it. Oh. I couldn't map generator. Maybe it'll come up when I. There it is. First one that pops up. Hold on. Here's what I've been using recently for fantasy related maps. And I need to save this link. It's not because I have specific things in mind for mine, this one doesn't work, but it gives me a starting off point that I can then use to help create my own that I draw by hand. I need to save this under writing. There we go. Now I have it saved because I always do this every single time. I'm like, yeah, I'll remember it. And then I never do. And I have to go look it up again. I do not know why I'm losing my voice, but apparently I am. All right, Nixie says we can do another sprint. So let's do another sprint. I don't know how many more we're going to do. I've got prompts for 2 more. Whether we actually do 2 more or just 1 more, I don't know. But we're going to at least do 1 more. 25 minutes. Here is our writing prompt for anyone who wants to use it. You do not have to. And it says, listen, I know things are weird between us. I know I didn't help matters when I ignored your proposal, packed my bags, and disappeared off the face of the earth for 2 months. But I just wanted to say, I miss you. So that is our writing prompt for anyone who wants to use it. You do not have to. And we're going to do 25 minutes starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. All right, that is time. Let us know how you did, what you did in the comments below. We got one more sprint we're going to do, and then we'll be wrapping up for the day. I did more brain dumping of my thoughts and ideas. Um, that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing because I am still stuck on what I should be doing as far as like um, the story stuff. That's oops. Okay, my tree has grown. I was growing a plant at the same time we were doing this. For those who use the forest app, that's what I was doing. Anyways, but basically, I'm avoiding writing, and I'm avoiding writing by brainstorming everything else. Right now, I am brain dumping and brainstorming how I can get back on track with like I used to do weekly planning. I haven't done weekly planning in a while. I used to do quarterly planning. I haven't done quarterly planning pretty much all year. I think the last time I did actual quarterly planning was in like December. Or hell, if I don't want to do quarterly planning, I need to go back to doing a few years ago before I discovered the HB90 plan. I used to be do bi-monthly planning. I need to do something. Something needs to change because I'm forgetting too much stuff. And I didn't used to do that because I used to have everything written down. I haven't been doing my daily journaling. I want to get back into doing that. So I was like, I'm brainstorming all of these different ideas of how I can incorporate all this stuff back into my life. And that is what I've been doing these past couple of sprints. Uh, I am going to mispronounce your name and I apologize. I think it's Adishile. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Welcome. Hello. You're a new face for me. So I'm sorry that the cat's meow startled you. Working on a shortish story. I know that feeling. I always say I'm going to work on a short story, and then it turns out to be like a novella that turns into a novel, that turns into a series. So here we are. Only need to get a few more sections done. Just need to get my brain to work with me to get it done. I feel that. That's exactly what I'm going through. I've been brain dumping on this particular story, which I think is going to be a short story, maybe a novella. Really hoping it's only going to be a short story. And I got stuck because I think I need to figure out the case that my werewolf character is investigating. Spelling is still beyond me, so Adeshale. Adeshale. Short stories for me are anywhere from 10,000 to 30,000 words, and that's when they start going into novella territories at 20 to 30,000 words. So, for me personally, my not so short story that I've got was supposed to be 5K words is now 115K. Oh, I love that. Computer's freezing, so pardon my. Hey, YouTube's response time is slow too. Don't worry. I said it correctly. Awesome. Yes. But yeah. When did my thing change? That was weird. I don't know when it changed. I must have pressed the button and didn't realize it. Or the cat jumped up here earlier. It changed it. I don't know what happened. But, hello. Rachel, hello. Must be fate telling me to write. I was going to watch one of your vlogs and saw you were streaming. Doing one more. I'm going to try to get started on the book I'm writing. Nice. I'm going to pause this real quick. Actually working on a shorter story right now. This one's about 15K. Nice. Just want to get it done, edit, and then go at the other story. Okay. Well, we got one more sprint we're going to do before I get off of here. I am doing daily streams this week. I think I'm going to start the next two streams at the same time I did today, which was 10 a.m. Mountain Time. Do not quote me on that. And the number of sprints we do will depend on how I'm feeling the day. We do at least four, as long as nothing interrupts me, and we'll possibly do six like we're doing today. And then on Saturday, I am doing a 12-hour stream. We're going to be starting over on Stephanie's channel at 6 p.m. Central Time before hopping over to mine for the second half of the 12-hour stream. So let's do this. Like a warm up. Okay, that makes sense. All right, 25 minutes. Here is our writing prompt for anyone who wants to write but doesn't know what they want to write about. You do not have to use the prompt if you do not want to. It's just there to inspire. And this one says, put down the sword. I'm not fighting you. And no, before you make assumptions, it's not because I'm scared. It's because I know I will kill you. So that's our writing prompt for anyone who wants to use it. And we're going to go ahead and start our last sprint for today, 25 minutes, starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. All right, that is time, everyone. Let me know how you did, what you did in the comments. That was our last sprint for today. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the timer and close it out. The puppies are sleeping on the bed. And the cat has returned to bug me once more. We started this stream with the cat bugging me, and now we're going to end it with the cat bugging me. Oh, nope, she decided to leave. Okay. She can't make her mind. She wasn't even in the room until I started talking, which tells me everything I need to know. But Ogre, in the meantime, my room light is off, so you can't see him very well. Ogre and Jester are both sleeping on the bed right now. So, and Ogre took his toy on the bed, which sucks because he knows his toys are not allowed on the bed. But at least it's not squeaking, so I can't complain too much. Too much. I got thoughts out of my head, and that is all I needed to do. Oh. But I use the term all I needed to do loosely. I've been doing nothing but brainstorming and procrastinating for the past 3 sprints. Maybe more than that. But it's been at least the last 3 sprints. And apparently that's what I've been needing to do. Because now my brain is much quieter and I'm actually able to think about the story. And I'll return to it eventually. But I don't know what to go with it right now. Rachel reread part of what they had written and added some details, about 180 words. Nice. Starting your 12-hour stream at 6 p.m. Saturday. Yes. Saturday evening at 6 p.m. Central. We're going to start over on Stephanie's channel. I can link her channel real quick. We're going to do 6 hours on her channel. And then we're going to take an hour break and we'll do 6 hours on my channel after that. It's going to be my portion of the 12-hour stream will start midnight my time, midnight Mountain Time, I believe. Let me grab her channel real quick. And if we have problems like we did the last time we were trying to do a 12-hour stream, we'll just do it on my channel completely, which is what we had to do last time. But usually the way it works is that we start on her channel, do 6 hours, and then come over to my channel and do 6 hours. Here is a link to her channel. We found it was easier to split it, just to give because hosting is hard. Hosting can be difficult. But the last time we did the 12-hour marathon, she was having internet issues because of storms in her area. So we ended up doing all 12 hours on my stream. And let me tell you, oh boy, that was a long time to stream. I know Andy does 12-hour streams once a month. He took a break this month, and I think he's taking a break next month. Don't quote me on that. But I know he constantly does. He schedules them for like the first Saturday of the month every month. And he does one 12-hour stream. But my googly moogly, it is difficult. Because of the way I do my sprints, I have to come up with prompts. And I think on a good 6-hour stream, we do like 13 to 14 sprints. So you got to double that when you're doing a 12-hour stream. So it can get overwhelming very fast on top of everything else. But that's the way we've been doing it. Is we've been trying to do 6 hours on her channel, take an hour break so everyone can like refresh. I usually use that time to get food and eat, and then we do 6 hours on my channel. So, but yeah, it's starting at 6 p.m. because we're nighttime people. It starts at 6 p.m. on Saturday, and then the rest of this week I think I'll be doing 10 a.m. streams, which is 10 a.m. Mountain Time. until then, just because that's been working for me, um, with the way my schedule is this week because of craziness. I don't normally stream daily. It's literally because we're doing a writing challenge that I'm failing miserably at, and I don't mind so much, but it works. Anyways, I don't have much, and I need to take a nap before I go to work tonight. So I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up here, and I will be back tomorrow as I've been talking about. Um, I think that's it. I feel like there's something else I should be talking about and mentioning, but I cannot remember what it is off the top of my head. I'll hopefully have videos or vlogs coming out soon. I don't have any idea when exactly because I haven't been filming a lot of anything. Um, and usually with these daily streams, sometimes I film and sometimes I don't. And spoiler, I have not filmed once this week. I have every intention of doing so. I had every intention of doing a daily clip talking about my progress, and I haven't. So, anyways, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up here because I'm just going to ramble on otherwise. And I will see you all tomorrow because I'll be back tomorrow for another stream. Sunday, that's what I was going to mention. Sunday, because we're doing the 12-hour stream Saturday into Sunday, I don't know yet if I'm doing a Sunday stream. I'm going to keep that up in the air. Sometimes I do a Sunday stream, even if we do a 12-hour marathon. Sometimes I don't. It just varies on my mood. So I cannot guarantee there's going to be a stream on Sunday, but I'm going to be streaming. Let's see, today is Wednesday, right? Today is Wednesday, right? Yeah. So Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Thursday and Friday, I'll probably do another 10 a.m. stream. Saturday, I'll do the 12-hour marathon stream. And yeah, Sunday's up in the air. Anyways, thanks for all joining me today. I hope you all have a lovely rest of your day. And then I'll see you all tomorrow.